آله وصحبه ومن والاه. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحانك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. أنت المقدم وأنت المؤخر وأنت على كل شيء قدير. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما واجعل التفرق بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تدع فينا شقيا ولا محروما. اللهم آمين. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most compassionate, the most merciful, all praise and thanks are due to him, and peace and blessings be upon his beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He who is guided by the will of Allah, no one can misguide him, and he who is misguided, no one can guide him except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We do bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we will be continuing some of the details after the Battle of Badr. And I will be connecting this to a very important concept, has to do with guidance and misguidance, al-hidayah wal-dalal. Now, technically, chronologically, we reached to a simple point details. After the Battle of Badr, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and just because I can notice that we have a lot of new faces, just to let you know or to help you to be with us on the track. This is session 59 in the Seerah. It's about 1 year plus. So what we are doing, we are dealing with sessions about Seerah Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when we say Seerah, Seerah is different from the Sunnah. Sunnah means the way. And Sunnah as a terminology, we are talking about Islamic teachings, rulings, legislations. Seerah, it's much more wider in terms of the span of the historical events that we are covering. Sunnah, we are talking about halal and haram. الله يجزيك الخير رب الله. الله يكرمك. شكرا جزيلا. الله يسعدك يا رب. الله يبارك فيك إن شاء الله. جزاكم الله خير. Thank you sister. بارك الله فيكم. جزاكم الله خير. Seerah, it covers historical events, wider context, not necessarily events related to halal and haram. In Seerah, this session, we started talking about the origin of Arabs. We started talking about tens of years before the coming of Prophet Muhammad as a preparation by the will of Allah for his coming. This has nothing to do with halal and haram. This has nothing to do with rulings, with teachings, but we understand the context. Now, in this, we reached, طبعا started 13 years of Mecca, then the immigration. Now, we started a few weeks ago, after Prophet Muhammad ﷺ spent 13 years in Mecca, then he started being in Al-Madinah. We highlighted how he started his existence in Al-Madinah, how he established the masjid, how did he make the covenant or the Medina charter, the rules that we reached in the second year of his existence, which is the 15th year of the beginning of Islam, the Battle of Badr. Since few weeks we are talking about how they were forced to face this by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They were seeking returning back some of their rights, some of their properties, some of their money. They were kicked out, they were tortured, on the details. So they had to face, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helped them, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala supported them with the angels, etc. Now today, we reached a point, I will read one of the narrations, then I will stop, I will connect this incident with a very serious concept, had to do with hidayah and dalal. Now, the historical one is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam قال in the narration according to Al-Bukhari, the first piece of information, Al-Bara ibn Azib narrates قال أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وأصحابه أصابوا من المشركين يوم بدر 40 أسيرا و70 قتيلا. One of the very well known that we know, Allah helped the believers when they had the fight of Badr. They had as prisoners or hostages 70 and they killed 70. So the total was 140 in that battle. something very significant happened. قال أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, in another hadith صحيح according to Imam Muslim, قال ترك قتل بدر ثلاثا. I will say the Arabic one, then I will highlight the meaning of it in English. Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم, part of his ways in dealing when he used to have a battle, wherever he had a battle, after inshallah he is granted the victory by Allah, he used to stay in the exact place of the battle 3 days. Unless if there is a threat, serious threat that they might be attacked again by another group. When they finish a battle, normally they used to stay for 3 days. One of the main reasons to take rest. Take rest of what? Battle. Let's go, because I will explain some of the, it's not like in our ways. It's not like playing with the PlayStation. Half of the war is now like the PlayStation. Just laser, it booms. Now, by the way, when they used to fight, they go to sleep. They come in there in the morning. They start fighting. They take rest. They eat. Then they continue fighting. Because it was a man-to-man fighting. The arm with the sword. It's not like in our... So sometimes when they had a fight, preparing for the fight for days and weeks, then the battle itself, it could take 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. However, when it is finished, he used to take a rest. Anyway, قال أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ترك قتل بدر ثلاثا. He left whoever was killed in his place for 3 days. قال ثم أتاهم فقام عليهم فناداهم. Then he came to them and he started calling them. فقال يا أبا جهل بن هشام يا أمية بن خلف يا عتبة بن ربيعة يا شيب بن ربيعة. Now those who were killed, they were 70. 24 of them, they were قال from صناديد قريش, the big giant leaders of Quraysh, the big bosses, 24 of them. So he addressed 4 of them by names. They are dead now. He was calling them after 3 days of being killed, asking them, قال يا أبا جهل بن هشام, عمرو بن الحكم, قال يا أبا جهل يا هشام بن أمية يا أمية بن خلف يا عتبة يا شيبة. So he specified, highlighted 4 out of the 24 of the big leaders out of the 70 by their names. What distinguished those 4, they were from the top people who had the hatred, enmity, and torturing against Muslims. Now they are dead. So he was addressing them. He said, قال أليس قد وجدتم ما وعد ربكم حقا فإني قد وجدت ما وعدني ربي حقا. Look what he said literally. He said, have you not found what Allah promised you that happened to be true? For me, I found it to be true. Because if we go back in the history, وَذْ يَعِدُكُمُ اللَّهُ إِحْدَى الْحُسْنَيَيْنِ أَنَّهَا لَكُمْ. Remember? When Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was approaching the caravan, let's go back in the history. They knew that Abu Sufyan was with the caravan. The caravan, it's a trade, a group of people. They have just some guards, but it contains a lot of money. Muslims, they lost all of their money in Mecca, so they want to return back some of them. So when they left Al-Medina trying to stop Abu Sufyan knew, he escaped. Then someone told people of Mecca, they came with 1,000 fighter. Muslims, they were 313 with 2 horses. Okay? Prophet Muhammad ﷺ he received a revelation, I think a dream. قال إن وعدني ربي إحدى الحسنيين. It's either the caravan or the Nasr. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did not know for sure which one of them, the caravan or the victory. So Prophet Muhammad was promised that he will be given one of the two victories, either to return back part of his money as a group or the victory in the fight. Prophet Muhammad now is speaking with the dead bodies now. He said, I have found what my Lord promised me to be true. Have you found what your Lord promised you to be true? This means what? Prophet Muhammad for 13 years, he kept addressing them on daily basis. For example, just pause. Al-Walid ibn al-Mughira. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد started فإنه فكر وقدر ثم فكر وقدر ثم نظر ثم عبس وبسر فقال إن هذا إلا سحر يؤثر. Now we have tens of verses addressing the people of Mecca when he was with them. Believe in Allah, be careful. وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا. Prophet Muhammad spent 13 years addressing them with hundreds of verses, addressing their fitra, addressing their power of intellect, addressing their common sense, addressing their knowledge about Ibrahim alayhi salam and the tradition that they are doing. You know the truth. You understand that I'm the prophet. So you talk. I was here approaching them. Whenever they start to fight, when they used to make fun of him or attacking Muslims or torturing them, he used to promise them, be careful. I came to you with guidance, but if you reject Allah and commit kufr against Allah, Allah will punish you. You see, they did not care. Now, in year 15, after they took hundreds and hundreds of warning, the punishment time has come. Subhanallah, this is adl, justice. You've taken your full opportunity. I warned you 100, thousands of times. It's like a criminal who was given, be careful, don't hurt the people, don't bully, don't do, we will capture you, we will put you in prison, we will bring you. I don't care. And he kept on hurting, kept on bullying. When he was captured by the police, when he was put in the prison, or he was convicted, or when it's capital punishment or whatever, shh, don't blame anyone. We warn you 100 times. You were aware? Yes. Have we warned you? Yes. Did you know that? Yes. Okay. Face the consequences. Close the file. This is what you deserve. So this is the meaning of فإني قد وجدت ما وعدني ربي حقا. فهل وجدتم ما وعد ربكم حقا? Have you found? Yes or no? Look, Umar ibn Khattab. Then Umar رضي الله عنه, he said, يا رسول الله كيف يسمع وأن يجيب قد جيفوا. يا رسول الله, how come you are speaking with dead bodies? They are dead. خلاص, 3 days ago. Look what Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم قال والذي نفسي بيده ما أنتم بأسمع لما أقول منهم لكنهم لا يقدر أن يجيبوا. Said by the one who created you and me, you can't hear better than them, but they can't reply. How? We don't know. We don't know. Because this is part of ilm al-ghayb now. How did Allah manage to let them hear Prophet Muhammad? It's up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Up to this day now, can anyone explain exactly how dreams happen? Sometimes you sleep, you take a nap for 10 minutes. You dream that you were running and there's a lion behind you and you were hungry, you were thirsty, you open your eyes screaming or something. Where did it happen? You don't know. How did you feel? Afterwards even you feel, you know, what you were eating in the dream. So this is part of ilm al-ghayb. Anyway, so Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, now after I prepared this, I was about to bring another narrations about the tiny details of this incident. But subhanallah, I was inspired by Allah to highlight something much more important than the details. This is the idea. What is the detail that I would like to connect with today's session? The concept of hidayah and dalal and idlal. The concept of guidance and misguidance. Because many people, when they read the Quran, if they don't have a proper knowledge of Arabic language or Islamic terminology context, when they say يُضِلُّ مَن يَشَاء يَهْدِي مَن يَشَاء إنك لا تهدي من أحببت ولكن الله يهدي من يشاء. Sometimes someone without having a good knowledge about the Quranic context or the Islamic context might be misguided or misled because of understanding one verse out of context. It has to do because those people, okay, they face the end result. So let me just highlight in about, inshallah, in about 15 minutes, very quickly, a concept. And as I can witness, mashallah, we have a lot of new guests today. It's good to connect these two concepts to Ba. Hidayah wa dalal. Let me give you just in a very, very simple words. What I will be highlighting, inshallah, by the will of Allah, could answer tens, if not hundreds of questions inside your mind and your heart. And could save you from a lot of possible misleading ideas for you and the people around you. When you speak about hidayah, guidance, and dalal, misguidance, please be aware of the following. We have two types of guidance. Two types of guidance. نوعان من الهداية. هداية إرشاد وهداية توفيق. The guidance of directions and the guidance of success. طيب, what do we mean by guidance of irshad? Guidance of direction, it's the guidance which Allah provides for every single person, a believer and unbeliever, male, female, black, white, east, west, north, south, education, everyone is provided with this. Irshad. It's exactly like the directions that we say, for example, in the road signs. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. I will tell you exactly what do I mean by Hidayat al-Irshad, but let me explain the concept of Hidayat al-Irshad. Now, in Arabic we say لوحات إرشادية. لوحات إرشادية in the roads. Now, we have signs on the roads. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. Now, for example, we are sitting in Oakville. If I want to go to Niagara Falls, ولا Niagara ولا Niagara here? Huh? By the way, they write it in Niagara, but they say it in Niagara. Anyway, Niagara Falls. Now, if you want to go now to the highway, it will tell you, for example, Niagara Falls, let's say left. Toronto, right. I claim, I want that my aim is to go to Niagara Falls. واضح؟ طيب. I'm the one who's driving my car. I realize what the sign says. The sign says Niagara Falls left. If I want to go to Niagara, I should be directing the steering where? Right. صح? You see? شوف, this is فطرة. This is a common sense reaction. How old is he? 8? MashaAllah. Reaction. He did not pay attention that I'm joking. Immediately say, left. رايح فين يا عم؟ ايه بتقول ايه؟ الله احنا هنستعبط؟ والله, this is a common sense reaction. Wallahi, this is a common sense reaction. Common sense. This is Hidayat Irshad. The sign says Niagara left. So if you want to go to Niagara, go to left. معقدة? Is it too complicated? طيب. Do I have the power technically to go right? طبعا. No one's controlling me. طيب. If I kept saying, I want to go to Niagara, I want to go to Niagara, well, I turned right. Haji, hello, where do you want to go? I want to go to Niagara, but you are going right. حر, مالكش دخل فيه. تعرف تبعت حرة؟ حرة تعرفوهم؟ أنا حرة. جماعة القلب الأبيض تعرفوهم؟ أنا صح مش محجبة. وصح بصاحب وصح ما بصلي بس أنا قلبي أبيض وما بكذب والله بعرف وحرة. تعرفوهم هدول؟ Okay, untranslatable. طيب ماشي. This is now the sign guides me but does not force me. Be careful. It tells me If you want to go to Niagara, تفضل, follow the directions. If you kept driving to the right, you will end up in Toronto. صح؟ طيب, who is blamed if I'm not in Niagara and in downtown of Toronto? Where is Allah, ya Sheikh? Why Allah misguided me? I wanted to go to Niagara. Habib Alba, no one forced you to be in Toronto except yourself. Face the consequences. This is called Hidayat what? Irshad. Okay? Allah guides, which means tells, shows, explains, gives the information. طيب. The most important example about Hidayatul Irshad, the whole of the Quran. All of the Quran is Hidayat Irshad. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّلَى. Don't come near to fornication. طيب. إنما الخمر والميسر والأنصاب والأزلام رجس فاجتنبوه. Do you think if this is, God forbid, khamr, and I want to drink, Allah will send Jibreel and will take it out of me? No. Allah tells me, this kills this. It's haram. Respect the commandments, don't drink. But what if I decided to drink? I'm not following the hidayah. I'm following something against hidayah. I decided to choose the road of dalal, misguidance, by my choice, not by force. Be careful. Okay? So the whole of the Quran is hidayat what? Irshad, guidance. Exactly like another simple example. School or university. Just a school. Do we have guidelines to graduate from a school or a university? Yes or no? The simple, humble, the common sense. You must attend the class. You have to respect the teachers. You must sit for exams. Don't cheat. Don't bully. Don't hurt. Don't lie. Come on time. If you have an excuse, you have to go through, a system. You have what? Guidelines. Type. If you made a mistake, you will be given another many. If you did it without an intention, you might most likely will be forgiven. If you did it intentionally, you are bullying, cheating, you will be warned. Once, twice, 3, 4, 5. At the end, kicked out, expelled. Do we apply this in our life or not? Do we have guidelines? Yes, no. Exactly. So, the whole of the Quran is Hidayat Irshad. The whole of the Sunnah is Hidayat Irshad. Wallahi la yu'min. Wallahi la yu'min. Wallahi la yu'min. Man ya Rasulullah? Man la ya'manu jaruhu bawa'iqahu. By Allah, he is not a true believer. By Allah, he is not a true believer. By Allah, he is not a true believer. Ya Rasulullah, who is he? Who's this person that you are swearing by Allah 3 times that he is not a true believer? The one who is his neighbors are not protected from his harmful deeds. He is not a true believer. من لا يأمن جاره بوائقه. If my neighbors are not protected from my bad deeds, I'm not a true believer. This is called what? Guidance of direction. Allah will not send Jibreel to stop me from harming the people, but I will be a sinful, misguided, by choice person. Okay? So, Quran, Sunnah, Fitra now. We come to the Fitra. Common sense, inner nature. That we realize good, bad, right, good. Now, do I need a university or a school or even my parents to teach me that, for example, hitting someone without any reason is injustice? Do you need someone to teach you this? Do you need someone to teach you that occupying another land is a big mistake to be justified and it's injustice? It's a common sense. It's a common sense. making a theft, being a thief, and committing a theft is a wrong thing. Does it need someone to study this to be convinced, or it's a by default understanding? If I own something, it's my property, mine. If you took it without my permission, this is called what? Stealing. You are a thief, and this is a theft. Good or bad? Good or bad? From subjective point of view or objective point of view? From my point of view, it's good. As long as I have the power and I manage to take it. That's why we need an objective truth reality, موضوعية, which is religion, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is bad, this is wrong, this is haram. Got my point? It's not subjective. So subjective, as long as I have the power and I'm able to seize whatever I can control, from my point of view, it's good. Who cares with your point of view? We care what Allah has decided. Anyway, I'm giving you an idea about the common sense, the fitrah, the nature. Now, for example, so many things, the good, bad, right, with the basic minimum requirement, we realize it by fitrah, by nature, by inner nature, by instinct, okay? This is part of hidayat, irshad. Okay, I'm giving you an idea about the guidance, because some people, they ask, Ya Ammi, طب how can we relate to non-believers? With hidayat al-irshad. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا فِي الْآفَاقِ وَفِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق. How did it happen? Just a pause. How many of you heard the story of Richard Varley from me? Because I did it at least 10 times now, at least. But we have a lot of new guests. Richard Varley. How many of you heard me talking about Richard Varley? طب it's good, just two. Alhamdulillah. It's good. طيب, very quickly, just to give you what do I mean by the common sense, inner nature as a guidance of irshad, okay? Very quickly. A British guy from London, his name is Richard Varley. He was a colonel at the Special Department of Anti-Terrorism in 1979 in London. There is something called Salman Rushdie affair. Salman Rushdie is originally an Indian Muslim. He wrote a novel making fun, and he said filthy, dirty thing about Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his wives. And unfortunately, it was approved and praised and encouraged by Queen Elizabeth, unfortunately. Anyway, this happened 1979, 44 years ago. So Muslims felt very angry, not just because of the bad hatred, Islamophobic, by the backing of the British, let's say, leaders. Anyway, so they felt very angry. In a very peaceful way, they went into the streets to do like rallies, just protesting against this kind of hate speech. Now, Richard Varley is a white Anglo-Saxon British. He knows nothing about Islam and Muslims or Arabs or anything. He was given the mission, be careful, take care of the streets of London, so that those Muslims not to make any kind of troubles. Okay? 44 years ago. So he's talking about himself. And you can listen to his direct talk that I'm quoting now in a video clip on the YouTube under the title, 3 Verses Changed My Life. Recorded, I think, 2014. I think he's 70 something now. Anyway, go back to 97, 80. He says, I was asked to take care of the streets, to make sure that everything is okay. So who are those people? Muslims. What does it mean, Muslims? No knowledge. So he said, I bought a copy of the Quran just to read. I mean, this is their book. At that time, no internet, no satellites, no Google, no nothing at all, not like now. Now you can't just Google it, go to Wikipedia, ما في. He had a copy of the Quran. He knows nothing about Islamic history, nothing about Arabic language, nothing about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. My point, I want to give you what do I mean by the Hidayat al-Irshad, the guidance of direction and the common sense of the fitrah of the inner nature. He started reading in the book. He has in his bachelor degree 2 majors, double major, geology and physics. He started reading the Quran. Out of the 6,348 verses, he came across قول الله تعالى أولم يرى الذين كفروا أن السماوات والأرض كانتا رتقا ففتقناهما وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي أفلا يبصرون صح؟ أفلا يبصرون؟ مين حافظ؟ Anyway, وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء. He said, have not the non-believers with non-believers, لاحظ مش believers, have not the non-believers witnessed that we created heavens and earth from one split and then, from one mass, then we split them into pieces? He said, wait. He studied physics and geology. He said, this description is exactly what we know as the Big Bang Theory, which we are discussing just decades ago. How did this desert man, i.e. the Arab Muhammad, know anything about Big Bang Theory? Just a note. He put a note. He kept on reading. He came across قول الله تعالى وَالسَّمَاءَ بَنَيْنَاهَا بِأَيْدٍ وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ. This is the majestic we, Nun al-Azama. We have built the universe, heavens with might, and we are still expanding it. He stopped again. Physics. Expanding. He said, look, we have just discovered as a human beings about 100 or 110 years ago by Richard Hubble, his telescope, that the universe is expanding. Just 100 years. How did this book or the one who wrote this book know anything about the expansion of the universe? He put another note. He came across the third ayah, which khalas finished everything for him. He came across قول الله تعالى وجعلنا الأرض مهادا والجبال أوتادا. Allah is talking about how He, shaped the earth and He paved the surface of the earth. Then He said that I have made mountains as pegs and wedges. He said, my major is geology. And he was reading this in 1997, 98, 81. He said, we have just discovered in early 60s, which means 25 years ago, just that when you have a cross section of the layers of the earth, you will discover that any mountain, which is it's a geological reality in both icebergs and normal mountains, the majority of the mountain is inside, underneath the surface, while have just a small mountain on the top. Just early 60s. He said, wait. How did you know? He said, I have studied geology. We discovered just 25 years ago. How did this book is talking about? Who knew this? No technology, no high technology, no knowledge. No one knew that. He came up with this following result. This is why I'm quoting the whole story. He said, I became fully convinced that this book is impossible to be but from a divine source. Common sense, fitrah. By the way, he knows nothing about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He knows nothing about the history of Islam. He knows nothing about Arabic. He has written a book. How does this book know about the expansion of the universe and which is geology, physics, and it's a very complicated cosmotech. Has to do with the physics. He said, I knew that is from divine source, and I decided to become a Muslim. And he founded the first society for new Muslim reverts in the British police ever in the history. His name is Richard Varley. The title is 3 Verses Changed My Life. I go back to my point. What is my point? Hidayat al-Irshad, which is the guidance of direction. So when Allah punishes someone, now we are talking the Seerah. When Allah punished Abu Jahl in Ma'rakat Badr, and he vanished, demolished, and caused the death of Umayyah ibn Khalaf, it was end result after giving them and anyone similar to them the full guidance of direction. They took the full chances. They were guided. They received the revelation of the Quran, the explanation of the Sunnah, their inner nature they realized, they analyzed, they completely, we have tons of evidence. وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُمْ ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا. Look, juhud, which means they rejected the truth. Okay? They did not want to accept it, even though, look, قال وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُمْ, which means in their inner self, their inner realization, they were 100% certain, sure that this is the reality and this is the truth. Yet, they what? Rejected. جحدوا واستيقنتها. طب why يا Allah? ظلما وعلوا. ظلم and arrogance. We go back, because of our news visitors, we go back to the disease of Iblis. Did Iblis face any problem of possible misunderstanding? Was he facing what we might be facing now? Allah praised us as Alif Lam Mim ذلك الكتاب ولا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب. طيب, Allah is praising any one of us when we believe in the unseen. For Iblis, was the whole issue to do with the unseen? Iblis was an eyewitness on the creation of Adam. Yani Adam was formed from clay while he was witnessing. Wow. Allah honored him to witness. Then وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إبليس what? أبى واستكبر وكان من الكافرين. طيب, Iblis did not understand? No, he did understand. Was not able to realize? He did realize. No, no. قال أنا خير منه. قال خلقتني من نار. He said, my Lord. قال ربي. He was addressing Allah by my Lord. You created me, he's admitting. طيب, okay. Submit. So please, let's put things in its right place. The problem of the world is not understanding and not understanding. It's submitting to the truth that they understand or not. Because of that, the one is a non-believer, kafir, not by misunderstanding, no, by refusing to accept, submit, to declare your attitude towards the truth. Subhanallah, and we are witnessing this now. And let me repeat something I always do, but because of the new visitors. One of the very common terminology that we keep always using, iman and kufr. Many people, they say mu'min, kafir. Why do we use the word kafir? It's a very common one. Where's my mobile? خلاص. Let's imagine that this is a cell phone. Now, the word kafara in Arabic is exactly the same meaning of cover in English. To cover in English has been taken from kafara in Arabic. Okay? To cover, kafar, which means to cover. Okay? طيب. This is the meaning in what we call in dictionaries or lexicons في المعاجم, the literal linguistic meaning, to cover, simply. What is the relation between the literal linguistic meaning and the meaning that we use now, which is rejection and denial? What's the relation? The relation is the following in a simple way. The one who knows the truth, even though he's claiming and he's rejecting, is the one who's holding the truth but hiding and covering, claiming that he does not know. It's exactly like example that I keep always using. Zaid, help me in this example. Imagine that this is a cell phone. Am I holding a cell phone now? Yes. Do I know that I'm holding? Yes. Am I aware that I'm holding? Yes. Type, ask me if I'm holding a cell phone. No. Ask me again, same question.
Are you holding a cell phone?
No. Again.
Do you have a cell phone?
Wallahi, no. What I'm doing now is kufr. وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا. I denied. But in reality, استيقنتها أنفسهم. I know. It's not just I know, I have it. It's with me. Do you condemn? No, I don't condemn. But why you don't condemn? Because I don't know. وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا استيقنتها أنفسهم ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا. This is the meaning. Okay? Do you know? No, Allah, I don't know. No, you know. You know. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sallallahu alayhi in the day of judgment, every single person will be brought for accountability before his Lord, and his record will be shown to everyone. Subhanallah. If we we human beings, we have the ability to record up maybe to 90% of every single moment of our lives. Do we do it or not now? Can you imagine if a very powerful secret intelligent forces is targeting you? Can they record nearly everything you do or not? With high technology. CCTV cameras, sometimes maybe they send a spy to your house, they can record your voice, your actions, subhanallah. We human beings, we do it. Sometimes you go, did you say something? No, I did not say. فضلت الزير. I'm very sorry, wallahi, I'm very sorry. We do it. By the way, just on the social media we are able to do it. Sometimes you go back 15 years ago to someone, look, you said such and such, I'm very sorry. Can you imagine what is the ability that Allah has in terms of recording? It's not just audio or video. Feelings and intentions. Intentions. What was my intention? طيب, what is the meaning of makar? وَيَمْكُرُونَ وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهِ. Al-makar is planning secretly behind the scene. Anyone who's planning behind the scene is called yamkur. قال وَيَمْكُرُونَ وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهِ. They plan secretly, and Allah does plan secretly. وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. Allah, the best of the planners secretly. You can't defeat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This all will be uncovered in the day of judgment. I go back just to finish by this, because I promised no more than 40 minutes. Our point today is just how Prophet Muhammad was addressing Abu Jahl, Umayyah ibn Khalaf. Have you found yes or no? When someone looks at this, they say, oh, subhanallah, where is the mercy of Islam? But why Allah is punishing them? You are looking to the end of the story. Please go back, see the story from the beginning. From the beginning, they were giving all opportunities to accept. They knew, they realized, they were guided with full guidance. They rejected. They refused, therefore they were punished. By the way, this summarizes the whole story of our existence completely. This is applicable on every single person of us. Every single person. Guidance, that's why I explained the whole concept of guidance. So, لوحات رشادية, guidance, follow. Don't do this, do this. حاضر. Either I submit or I don't submit. Not I believe or I don't believe. That's why the name of our religion is not Iman. It's what? Islam. Because many people they know. Many people they realize. In theory they believe. But who cares with what you know if you don't submit? What's the point of, imagine that I was an eyewitness that someone did a crime and you were accused. You are in the court now. They will sentence you to death. And I was an eyewitness. I came to you secretly, I said, Wallahi, I know that you are innocent. طب say it. No, sorry, I can't say it, but I know it. Don't worry, I know it. نعم حبيبي. Don't worry, Wallahi, I know it. Who cares? Come and say it in public, save me from the capital punishment. No. But Wallahi, I love you. And I have a big respect for you. What will be your reaction to this person? Go to hell. صح? I don't care with what you know. I don't care that even you are admitting in theory. Come and submit practically. Declare it that you are an eyewitness that I did not commit any crime. So I don't care with what you know, what you believe, what you know. No. I care with what you do practically to save me because I'm an innocent person. This is a simple, humble example about Iman and Islam. Not to be confused. It's mashallah. They have a very nice heart. Who cares? Very innocent person. Did he submit to his creator? Yes or no? No, he's a kafir. Period. Is it complicated? No. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called our religion what? Islam. Inna ad-din. Allah did not say Inna ad-din 'inda Allah al-iman. No. Even though Iman is a basic part of Islam, it's the foundation, but it's not the end result. It's a foundation. The end result is what? Submission. That's why, subhanallah, I will finish with this. One of the greatest glad tidings verses in the Quran, for me at least. You know, in many times we go to condolence houses, Beit Aza, when someone passed away. Every time someone asks me to say a word in a Beit Aza, I always repeat the following verse. I say the most beautiful glad tiding, good news ayah in the Quran for me is قول الله تعالى إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا وأبشروا بالجنة التي كنتم توعدون. Look, why I love this ayah, but I love because it gives you the glad tidings. If you declared that you are قالوا ربنا الله, if you declare that Allah is my Lord, and they forced themselves to be in the straight path, قال تتنزل عليهم الملائكة. تتنزل in Arabic indicates that there are groups of angels will come on groups, to what? To welcome you in your first beginning time, عالم الآخرة, which is the barzakh, نعيم القبر, the pleasure of the grave, or God forbid, some people will feel نعيم القبر, عذاب القبر. We always talk about the punishment of the grave, but how many times we speak about نعيم القبر? نعيم القبر starts with a welcoming ceremony by a big number of angels welcoming you in the akhirah. Do you know this? تتنزل عليهم الملائكة. What's their job? ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا. But I'm not quoting this ayah to talk about نعيم الآخرة now. I'm talking to highlight قالوا ربنا الله. You know what does that mean? Allah did not say إن الذين آمنوا في قلوبهم, and they were with white-hearted and very nice in their hearts secretly. He said what? قالوا. Do you know what does mean? They declared their identity. They were proud of their Islam. He was not hiding his practicing of Islam. قالوا means, hey, I'm Muslim, I'm a proud Muslim. I'm a proud, mashallah, with my hijab. May Allah accept from you, sisters. I'm a proud of my hijab. I'm a proud the fact that I do not commit haram. I'm a proud that I don't drink alcohol. I'm a proud that I do not commit zina. I'm a proud that I don't go to porno things. I'm a proud. I'm declaring, discussing, speaking, highlighting, conveying. This is the meaning of qalu, which means they did not live in the shadow, hiding themselves. Ya Allah, we love you, but please, Ya Allah, don't test me. Don't know the people that I'm a Muslim. Whenever I go on the street, I'm nice with everything. I don't want anyone to know that I'm a Muslim. I'm ready to do anything, but to let everyone satisfied from me. This is not Islam. This is not Islam. Because sometimes, definitely, everyone is proud of his culture, of his identity. Why do you have this kind of inferiority in your feelings? You need to be proud of the people that take it from cultural point of view. Islam is your culture. This is your identity. This is the meaning of qalu. It's not just because this indicates this. That's why she قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة. Everything I was saying revolves around after realizing submission. طيب. By this, يعني, we are still, by the way, we are still in the context of the Battle of Badr. Now we are discussing details of the Battle of Badr, okay? جزاكم الله خير. بارك الله فيكم. Thank you for being, yes brother. في question هنا.
Sorry, it's the guidance of Tawfiq. You haven't covered it.
I did not. Okay, sorry. Very quickly. Guidance of Tawfiq, Jazakallah khair, is the guidance of success, which means if I followed the guidelines, I will be rewarded. It's like, for example, my intention is to reach Niagara Falls. I want to enjoy seeing the beauty of the location. This is my aim, my goal. I followed the directions. Right, left, be careful, speed limits, red lights, don't do, 70, 80, for full hour, I reached the place. So my reward will be that I reached my goal, I'm enjoying being in the site. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. Now, guidance of success, I followed. But what is the result? Allah will give me the full success in this dunya and in the akhirah by tranquility, happiness, being supported, and I will be rewarded in the day of judgment. This is the guidance of success. It starts in the dunya. Like for example, you know the very famous hadith, من عاد لي وليا فقد أذنته بالحرب وما تقرب إلي عبدي بشيء هو أحب إلي مما افترضته عليه وما يزال عبدي يتقرب إلي بالنوافل حتى أحبه فإن أحببته كنت سمعه الذي يسمع به وبصره الذي يبصر به ويده التي يبطش بها ورجله التي يمشي بها. Which means now, okay, I will be striving in the sake of Allah, for the sake of Allah at the beginning, following the commandments. Once Allah accepted my struggle for His sake, He loves me. When I'm loved by Allah, I will have like a special protection, special backing system. Like for example, من صلى الفجر في جماعة فهو في ذمة الله. Anyone who prays the Fajr in a collective manner, in a jama'ah, he will be having a full protection by Allah. في ذمة, he's under the, by the way, the word dhimma, it's much more, it's backing, support, and the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. طيب, whenever I face any kind of trouble, psychological, mental, financial, I will have this psychological tranquility in my heart. Allah will guide me what to do, when to do it, how to be happy, when, even though I'm suffering. Like now look what happens in Gaza, for example. Who can give an explanation for someone who lost all of his family? Now, humanly, he should be crying, killing himself, thinking to commit suicide, trying to drink alcohol to forget, having drugs to forget. What is the reaction? Alhamdulillah. But why? Where did he have this power to have the patience and to take care? Because of his faith and acceptance for the qada, commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This power, this tranquility comes as a result for his submission, because he believes and he knows the full picture. He will be meeting them. وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ قُتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتًا بَلْ أَحْيَاءٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَنْ يُقْتَلُ فِي سَبِيلِ الْأَمْوَاتِ. You see? So this is the whole package. He will be fully, it's like I call them in my own wording, the VIP of Allah. Special, very important person in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You keep following, you will have a special status, full support. In brief, this is the guidance of direction for everyone. When you take the visa, passed, succeeded, you will be from the VIP. You see, special treatment, special laws, exception. ولله المثل الأعلى والله أعلم. In a very brief. جزاكم الله خير. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow in case if you would like. We have a tafsir session after Isha. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. الله يكرمك يا رب يبارك فيك. حاجة